thanks to AMD and Acer for sponsoring this video.
A warning, if your lease is up or if you are looking for an apartment in New York City, the average monthly rent has jumped to a record high of nearly $5,600.
But what if I told you that this tiny apartment costs half that much? And surprisingly, this place is really large. And that means that it's probably about 500 square feet. We're also in the middle of Midtown Manhattan. And this place is a one-bedroom, not a studio, with a nice big separate kitchen. And we're here to find out if it's still possible to find a nice apartment in New York City, or if it's actually half as good as everything else because it's half the size and you should spend twice as much for a place to live. Now, what's great is we're pretty close to the Port Authority bus terminal, so if you want to get any subway train in town, you can get them all here, and if you want to take a bus out of town, that is also possible. Not sure why you'd want to do that. There's also this very exciting Rube Goldberg machine you can check out here. Look at the little ball kind of going all over the place. Hours of entertainment. And just outside the Port Authority, check this out. We got Times Square right here. This is like one of the busiest parts of the city, hands down. You've got billboards, you've got tall buildings, you've got bakeries like the one behind me that are probably more expensive than they should be. And the New York Times building is over here until it becomes a Whole Foods. Now, if you head south, you're gonna be into Midtown South, and admittedly, there's not a whole lot down here. But our apartment is actually west in Midtown West, which is an actual neighborhood with restaurants. And the treasures of this neighborhood really begin over here on 9th Avenue. You got your delis. This right here is a grocery store. Get them cheesecakes right in here. Dollar Pizza. Man, these prices, they just keep going up. Unfortunately, Dollar Pizza, not inflation proof. This Turkish place looks pretty good. They got wraps and a really good looking Hero gyro. Sweets, you can get it Pinkberry. Chicken fingers, you can get it Stickies. And unfortunately, I haven't seen a gym around here to balance out all the junk food, but that's why I'm glad there's this little salad place. A pork belly salad, how healthy. There's also a lot of local coffee shops over here, and that's a good thing because you don't want to be stuck at Starbucks. And I saw one back behind us. I didn't point it out because I figured you didn't want to drink the rainwater, which you can get for free in that puddle right there. But if you want to, you can go to Starbucks. Mediterranean, Mexican. Oh, and they got Tim Ho Wan, great dumplings. And if you want like that diner style food, Westway right here, it's been in the neighborhood for a while. And there's a line, which means somebody's doing something right. And with so many great Mexican places here, you won't have to go to Chipotle unless, of course, you hate yourself and you already went to Starbucks. The two of those are a dynamic duo. Now, right over here, we got ourselves a little pizza place. Across the street on this side, there's a nice little French place. This whole place is a restaurant crawl. That's what it is. I think I've actually been here, believe it or not. My wife is an oyster fan. Cute little place too. Look inside the window. Then we got some corporate coffee and some corporate juice at the Juice Press. More Italian. It just doesn't stop. And again, not a bad thing. If you want to move to New York and have a really good time, this is a neighborhood where that looks like it'll be possible. What's also pretty incredible is that the apartment we're about to see is half of what it normally costs to live around here. And that in and of itself is an amazing feat. Oh, those cookies look real good. All right, so this coffee place, it is a chain, but that's okay. The espresso's really good. Also of note, we have a Panda Express and the Galaxy Diner gets a thumbs up. But will the cheapest place in town get a thumbs up? That's what we're about to find out. And just before we continue, I have something very thin and very light that might change your life. As a small business owner whose businesses are all remote, I'm always looking for the latest and greatest in portable laptop-y devices. I need a laptop that can go with me basically anywhere and allow me to do everything, but it's gotta be light, it's gotta be fast, and it has to have an incredible screen. Look at how easy it is to browse through real estate listings on this thing. It almost feels like you're actually inside this place. And because this Acer Swift Edge 16 is 16 inches, the keyboard is nice and wide, very clicky, very satisfying. Listen to that. It's also powered by an AMD Ryzen 7, so it's very fast. Websites, videos, apps, there's nothing it can't do. And if you're like me and you happen to make videos in your child's playroom, the computer has a few things that it can do to help you look more professional. It is a good keyboard, isn't it? Okay, so this is the webcam, and this is what you're gonna use to take a Zoom call, and check this out. We can put it in portrait mode, which gives us about this much blur, right? I can even go into standard, look at that. This makes you look professional from pretty much any location, even if the location is incredibly unprofessional. Check out the link in the description to learn more about the nicest laptop I've ever owned. Now let's get back to the video. It's not fancy, it's not flashy, but it's well cared for. And the building that it's in is also well cared for, which means if you rent this, you're getting something that is above average, even though the price is about half of what you'd normally pay in this super expensive part of town. And the rent for this little guy, $28.95 a month, and that's usually the price that you'd find for a studio, but this is a real one bedroom. It's not without its sacrifices though. This is the only coat closet, but look at that, there's a light in the hallway. Everything about this is great for New York City. Fifth floor water pressure. This is about what I expected. Now the whole kitchen sink area looks like it's relatively new. This is a granite counter. We've got lots of counter space for someone else's water and my Gatorade. So you could actually cook stuff here, prep it here. This is definitely workable. The stove has 4 burners on it. You can get stuff done. You can make food. And if you don't know how to make food yet, you could reheat the food that other people have made in this microwave. 1200 watts, that's more than an e-bike. Your food is gonna be nuclear when it comes out of there, but look, we've got a nice oven right here. What's also nice is this isn't like a hallway, and you could probably put a rolling counter or something against this wall. And there's an outlet, so if you had a counter here, you could plug in like a toaster. A brave little toaster. The cabinet space in here, I think, is definitely enough for a place of this size. And you know, maybe a kitchen table could go here, or at least like a bar counter with stools underneath it. That would mean you could eat in the actual kitchen, which seems big enough. Now, once I show you this, there's no way you're gonna be able to unsee it. The apartment only has 1 drawer. Ooh, look at that. It comes with some keys. So when you move in, this is where your keys are located. Don't let them tell you they're not in the apartment. Other landlords I know have hide their keys in the freezer. This freezer has an ice tray. Look at that. Usually these get stolen by the prior renter. The fridge is also pretty good. It's a medium-sized fridge and it's got that cool futuristic light. I don't know what's more impressive with this apartment. The fact that the bathroom is pretty good or that the kitchen is pretty good, because usually with a cheap place, they both suck. You can tell this vanity was recently put in. We got ourselves a nice medicine cabinet. The bathroom water pressure is solid. This sink actually looks brand new, and I like how there's counter space around it for stuff that's just gonna clutter it later, like a shaver or toothbrushes, hopefully some soap. The under sink cabinet can be opened fully if you close the door, but it's a pretty good amount of storage. And across from the sink, we have ourselves the shower and the tub. It's actually pretty large. And the great thing about the sliding glass door is you don't have to buy shower curtains from Amazon every couple of weeks when they get disgusting and they're plastic, and you have to throw them out and destroy the environment. And as far as usability, I would give this a 5 out of 10 because it's New York and nothing is a 10 out of 10, but it's good. Like for me, I mean, I'm in this tub. Look, my legs are straight. I'm also 5'8", and we have ourselves a rather large frosted window. My apartment is a 2-bed, 2-bath, and it's in a luxury building, and the way it was designed, there's no interior shaftway, so I can't have a window in my bathroom. You can if you live here. You know, I can see some tall buildings way off in the distance. And even though this isn't a very impressive view, this window lets light into your living room. You can use it to mount an air conditioner so that your living room can be the temperature that you might want it to be. And setting this up is gonna be pretty easy. It's a nice big rectangle. Maybe in this section right here, you could get yourself a kitchen table. I'm guessing couch, home office. And on the other side, I think this is probably the right spot for a TV. These glass doors that lead to the bedroom, these are also a really great idea because, as you can see, they don't block any light. There's light coming in from the street. And between all that light and decent overhead lighting, it's a bright, happy apartment. It's not dark and depressing, which is so normal and par for the course here. But if we want to talk about downsides, you'll notice that there's no closet over here, but there's plenty of outlets, and with all the money you're saving, it might be worth it. Okay, I'm gonna say that this bedroom is excellent. It'll fit a queen or even a king-size bed, and it has its own closet. But is it a walk-in closet? I mean, I think so. Now your bed could go against this here wall, but in my opinion, the best spot for it, if it'll fit, is gonna be in this corner, because it's kind of like out of the way, and then you have the whole rest of the room for other things. You could get a dresser over here, maybe a home office, something else in this corner, maybe like a chair. It could be very comfortable, very functional, and again, look at all that light coming in from this window. Now, as far as cooling, we've got ourselves an AC. This model usually comes with a remote. I don't see a remote around here. This pipe, this is actually your heater. Sometimes there's a radiator attached to it, but right now, it's just the pipe. It probably gets warm enough because the landlord has to provide heat, and if this isn't here, it probably means that nobody's complaining. Or it means that the person who complained moved out. And we've got that envious street view. This is 9th Avenue, so you're always gonna have stuff to look at. There's a little bit of street noise coming in, but it's not too bad. The windows look like they're relatively new, so that's probably helping. And since this faces west, in the evening, we're gonna get sunsets. What do you think? Is this worth it? Should you pay more money to get something else? I will see you in the next video.